Hello friends, it is Hope from the Hopeful RN, and I am back. My last video I did on how to study with flashcards, and it got some really good feedback, so I wanted to get on here and talk to you about how to skim a textbook. Again, if you are close to finals, and let's say you left it till the last minute, and now you have a ton to read and not a lot of time to do it in, I want to help you get through as much material as you can so that you can retain it and then use it properly on a test. Right? It's no good if you read your textbook and you can't do anything with that information. So, before we start, shameless plug, please go subscribe to my channel on YouTube, The Hopeful RN. Unfortunately, no matter how many views you get, if you don't get subscribers, it doesn't do a whole lot. So please subscribe. That would be awesome. It would really mean a lot. And then on Instagram, at The Hopeful RN, please give me a follow. You're welcome to save my posts. They're kind of the spark notes of my videos. So again, my last video was on flashcards and how to study with flashcards. So if that's something you're interested in, go watch that one. And then if you want to learn how to skim a textbook really well, come on back because we are going to talk about that. And then this is going to be a two-part video. So in this part, I'm going to talk about how to skim. And then in my part 2, I'm actually going to skim a little bit of a textbook with you. I pulled out one of my old nursing textbooks, and if you are not a nursing student, not to fear, it's the same concept for really any textbook. So I'm going to use a nursing textbook just because that's what I have, but you would be totally okay to try this exact same technique with any of your textbooks. I just have to fix my teleprompter really quick. There we go. Okay, so first thing you're going to do when you open up your textbook, you're at the beginning of what you need to read. I want you to find your topic sentence or your heading. A lot of textbooks will have like a bolded heading to a section. Make sure you read that. It's going to give you a clue as to what you're talking about in that section. So find that, or in each paragraph, find like the topic sentence, right? Throw back to your days of English class when you're writing papers. Your topic sentence is going to kind of summarize what you're going to be talking about. So find that and read that. That's step 1. Step 2, you're going to move on to the actual paragraph itself, and you're going to try and kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the paragraph and take in full sentences at a single glance. So rather than reading each word, you're going to kind of try to just skim through a sentence, right? Read it really, really fast and just kind of gather the general gist. You don't have to read every single word. You will be fine, right? So you do that through the whole sentence and then through the whole paragraph, right? You kind of try to take in the paragraph as quickly as you can. You're just skimming through it, right? You're just glancing over it. But when you get to the end of it, you want to ask yourself, can you recap the point of each paragraph or section? So you're really not going to be able to regurgitate every single word, but a lot of times a whole bunch of sentences will be used to relay one point. So can you kind of grasp the meaning of that whole paragraph in a single phrase? Do you kind of have the gist? All right. So step 1, find your topic sentence. Step 2, take in full sentences and then full paragraphs, right, as you work out in kind of a single glance. Step 3, ask yourself, can you recap the point? Repeat those steps until you get to the end of the section or the end of what you have to read, right? So again, if it's a textbook that's in kind of sections with headers, use those headers to really tell you what you're talking about. And if you're in kind of more of a chapter textbook, to the end of that chapter, however much you have to read. Then step 5, right? 4 was repeat. Step 5, you're going to go to the back of the book. A lot of textbooks have practice questions. So you're going to go to the back of the book and use the practice questions because a lot of times those questions are they're kind of giveaways of what the takeaway was supposed to be. If you can answer those questions, chances are you picked up on the major points of what you were supposed to read. So you go through the questions and you answer them. And you make sure you're right. You check your answers. If you are wrong about one of them, you're going to go back. You're going to find the answer, right? Even if you could just see the answer. Oh, the answer is D and not B. Oh, well, go back. Find where that answer is in the textbook and make sure you understand it. So not just, okay, got it, but like read that and the surrounding area. Because again, if it's in the summarizing questions and you got it wrong, chances are there was a kind of a key point that you missed. So go back, find it, read it, understand it. The more you understand, the less you have to memorize, which is a huge plus when you don't have a lot of time. You're not going to be able to cram your head full of tons of memorization. But if you can understand something, you can really like grasp the meaning behind it. Then when you sit down on a test, you don't have to just regurgitate facts that you memorized. You'll be able to take that information and reason your way to the answer. Okay, so those are my 5 steps. Again, to recap, you're going to look at your topic sentence or your heading. Then you're going to take in full sentences or paragraphs kind of at a single glance. Then you're going to ask yourself, can I recap the point of each paragraph or section? You're going to repeat that process until you get to the end of your assigned reading. Then you're going to go to the back and you are going to answer your summarizing questions and make sure you can answer them correctly. And then step 6, if you cannot answer one of those questions or any of those questions, you're going to go back, you're going to find the answers, and you're going to read through those. A little extra credit for you is if you want, you can go to those questions first. You read through them. Don't answer them. Just read through them, because that'll then give you a key when you go back as you read. You'll be like, oh, there was a question about that. That's important, and it'll help you zone in. Okay? So again, the more you understand, the less you have to memorize, and the better you're going to be able to bring that information back to mind on the test. This was part 1. Come on back for part 2. It's going to be labeled the exact same thing, How to Skim a Textbook, part 2. And it's going to be me actually doing it with you. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you over there. Again, please subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment, share it with a friend, and I'll see you soon.